You are welcome back to our end-to-end ETL data pipeline. So we want to continue from where we stopped from the previous video. So just a quick one. Let's go back to our website. That's our English Premier League website. Let's just have a look of it. Okay, so if you are there right now, we will try to extract the data. So let's just refresh this so that takes us back to the first page. Okay, so I believe you are there now. So what we are going to do now is to see how we're going to extract this information without wasting time. I will just start so that because the video will be like a long one. So let's see how we can get started. So first, if you are on this page, please can you just right click on Gary Parry for me, or you can right click anywhere in that page. You should see this icon pop up. So you just click on inspect for me. So once you click on inspect, go to network, click on network. Just a quick one. I will be using Jupyter Notebook to do the extraction. Reason being that I want you to see how each of the whole process goes. So we'll still come back to the environment we built using Airflow and Docker. So let's get started. So if you click on network, now we can't see anything. Please make sure that fetch/xhr is clicked. Now we're going to refresh this page and see what comes up. Let's refresh. Okay. So okay, fine. So we're going to inspect all of what we are seeing, not all, but going to see if we can get what we need. Basically, just open this one, the one of leaderboard, if you've seen it. So you just open. Now we can see data as well as pagination. So we will expand the data. Let's expand the first one, see what is inside. Let's expand the metadata. So the metadata here gives us, we expand, we have country, a language, that is widely spoken in the country. So we have the team, as the last team the player played or probably is playing at the moment. Then we have the player first and last name, position. Now let's collapse that one. Let's expand on the start and see. So this gives us all of the stats of the player. So we'll try and extract some of the important stats. But if you choose to extract all of them, well, that's fine. But I will be extracting some of them. So how do we get all of this data? How do we automate this process? Now, just come back to this leaderboard. I want you to right click, go to copy, then copy call, that's CURL. Can either copy that of bash or copy that of CMD. So we open a new tab, then on Google, just search call converter, if you can see. Yeah, so we will click on this first one, that's this. We are going to paste our call commands here, and we need it to be converted to a Python request. So paste. So we now have a Python request. So we just copy this. Oh, we've not opened our Jupyter Notebook. So let's open our Jupyter Notebook. So I use Anaconda. So, or you can use Google Colab if you're doing it online. So let's open our Jupyter Notebook. So just type Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so let's click. So while we're waiting for this, let's copy this one, Control A, Control C. Now, if you look at our Python converts, that's our call converted to Python request. So it's just telling us that we're going to be using the request library in Python. Well, basically, maybe we'll just use one or two of the methods of the request library, which I will just show you. So we don't have to go and start inspecting the documentation of that request library. Now, let's see. Okay, I think we are still waiting for it to open. Where is it? Okay. So we now have the Jupyter. So we're going to open a new Python notebook where we'll be doing most of writing most of our codes. So let's just give it a minute for it to load. Okay, so open a new, go to new, go to click on Python. So it's going to help us open a new Python notebook. So we're going to paste that Python scripts, that converted scripts into our notebook. So just do Control V. So this is what we have. Now let's run this. Now we're going to see if what we actually saw here, what we saw here is what we're going to get from the request. So let's go back and see what we have there. So now all you just need to do, we're going to examine the JSON file. So let's see, click on, so it should be response.json. So we can see all what we can see here, or what we can see here is what is appearing here. So it shows that we actually using the right call that is converted to Python. So now the question is, how do we extract this data? Now, if you take a close look at the structure of the result of our code, it's more like a nested dictionary in Python. So we're going to be using some methods in dictionary to extract what we actually need. So let's call this as response JSON, and let's give it equal to. Now we're going to run this. Let's do something. Now we want to first extract the data, because you can see the data is inside a list, meaning all the players. If we go down, the first one is Garrett Barry. If we just scroll down after the start of Garrett Barry, we should see the next one. The next one is James Mina. If we scroll down to the next one, we should see Ryan Giggs. So we're going to extract the data. For us to do that, we're going to, like I said, we're going to use a Python dictionary method. So Control V dot get. So we're going to use get. We're going to supply the key of what we want, and it should return the value of it. So once that of data, because we're interested in data, that's the key. Now, if it doesn't see it, I want it to just return an empty list. Let's see what happens. So we now have the data. Now we would name this, let's name this player info, because it contains all the player info. You can name it anything you like, is up to you. Whatever naming convention that you're comfortable with is fine. Now we are going to just pick for just one of the players so that we can extract all the data. Then later we will look through, we iterate through to get the information for all. So we'll take the first index, which is index 0, so that it returns back just for one player. And so let's see what we have for that player. So we have just for one player. So we now have just for Garrett Barry, all stats as well as other information that we want to extract. So let's get started. So we're going to start. Let's start with the name, which is this. So if we go down, let's say info.get. So we want to get name. Like, remember, we said we will not go for first and last, we just go for the full name, which is okay. That's the name. Let's see what we have. Sorry, it should be metadata first before name. We're going down to metadata first. So dot get. Let's do our metadata. dot name. So we have the first name, which is Gareth Barry. We're there. So we'll call this player name. Let's give it player name. So let's now get what else? Let's get the country, that's the nationality. Come back to this, click on this. Let's see how to get the nationality. So the nationality is nested inside the player metadata. So this should give us what we're looking for. We'll just copy this. Don't mind me, I'm being lazy. So we'll just do some player nationality. Player nationality. Okay. So let's see. Player nationality is that's country. So it's inside country. Control C. Inside country. No, that's sorry. So it's inside country, not metadata. Oh, player nationality, visit country. So go to metadata and go to country. Okay. I think we did the right thing. Just that we didn't display it. That's why we're not seeing any results. So we have all of this. So we want to move now to the country. So let's do country dot name. Yeah, that's country. So we want to get that. So I think from what I can see, we're doing a kind of repetition. So I'll just show you what I mean. So this should give us the player country. Now we're using metadata, so I think it will be better if we have let's call this metadata so that we have it somewhere. So let's say metadata sk equals to, so that we don't have to keep writing it. So all we just need to do is just metadata dot. So we just replace all of this with metadata dots, so that we don't write the same code all over again. It should give us the same answer. Metadata. Oh, we've not run this. Sorry, need to run this first. So we need to run this. So we just replace this one with metadata. We don't want to keep writing the same thing all over again. So yes, so we have so what's the next thing? So we need we've gotten country, we need position. Yeah, so position is inside hold on, I think we'll just visualize it. I'll get this out of the way. So let's say open a new tab here, so that we'll be seeing what we're extracting. So position is inside the metadata and it's inside position. So we'll just do metadata dot get, Control C. So we'll do player position is equals to metadata dot get, and then let's see what we have. If it's going to if it's going to return back our player position, we should see that. So we have the player position now. So we need his current club. So his current club is inside metadata, current club, and name. So move like that. So you do so this should give us metadata. Let's copy this one. So for country, so let's say, what do we have for country? No, current team. Player current team. equals to. So let's do some. So metadata. So we move from metadata, current team, then name. So current team, then name. Okay, so if we see, let's see if we have what we're looking for. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there any other thing we're missing? Yeah, the language, which is here, which is almost the same with the nationality. So basically use this, should be easy for us to grab. So let's say player nationality language. So we just change the country to this one. Yeah. So this is why I recommend either Jupyter Notebook or Colab, Google Colab. That's to do it online. So because as you're seeing what you're doing and you can easily relate. So let's see what we have here. So now we now have this. The next thing is our start. So let's understand how the start goes. So the start is this. So this particular metadata ended here. You can see. So the start is another dictionary. So it should be instead of, let's put start here. So it should be start. Will now be player info. Player info dot start. Yeah, this should give us what we want. Player info dot get. Going to get start. So we are going to run this. So let's see if it will return start for us. Need start. So we now have all the stats for that player, which is Gary Barry. So we want to extract some of it. So I've already selected some of the stats that I think will be important to me for my analysis, but you can decide to pick any other one other than that. So I'll just go and copy the ones I have, which is this. So we'll put it in the list. Let's come back to list. So now let's come back here. Okay, let's come back here. Let's say player stats. So let's put it inside the list. So run this, fine. Okay, let's just properly arrange it so that we see all the stats. Okay, so just a minute. Okay, so we have everything. Now the question is, how can we get the star? Because what we just have here are just the keys. So how can we get the value? So what we need to do, we're going to loop through each of these keys and get their respective stats. Let's do that. Now let's say from, just want to show you something from let's say start in players, sorry, player stats. What do I want to do? Oh, sorry. From stats, hold on. Not from 4, sorry, what am I writing? So for stats in player stats, because we're looping through, so what do we want to get? We basically want to get the key. So let's see how to get the key. For us to get the key, so it means let's do stats object. Let's do start object should be equals to remember, no, we have hold on, I'll delete this. So we have stats here. So it means we're going to do the same method, start dot get. What do we want to get? We want to get stats, which is this. And if we do that, let's say print. Okay, let's append it so that we'll understand what we're doing. Just hold on a minute. Let's put this player. Let's say player. What do we use? Let's just do player stats. Or let's just call it anything. Let's say stats player. Let's put it as empty list. That's just what we want to do. So we're going to append this. Let's append this dot append. So what are we appending? We're appending this. So now this should bring back.
Baby John now.
This should bring back.
Come on, Baby John. I finished. I'll do it by myself.
So this should bring back all of the stuff. But let's see what we have. Now let's visualize what we have inside there. So you see, it returns each, that's the corresponding values of each of the stats, which we can see here. So it means our code is working. So now the question is, how do we combine all of this? Now let's combine everything now, so that we can look through and get all the data for not just one player, or not just for 10 players, but for all of the players. Now let's start. So we're going to take this, let's build. Let's start to build now. I'll just open another one, build. So let's build. We'll take this one. I'll copy this and put here so that I can copy everything once. I can delete this, I don't need this. So we'll copy everything here and put it here. So the next is we'll copy player name. We're trying to build now. Let's build everything. Let's put it here. Next, we copy player nationality. It's fine. We'll build. We'll copy player position. It's fine. Copy. We'll build. We'll copy player current team. Build. Oh, what did I copy? I think I copied the wrong thing. Copy player current team. We build. Okay. I would have just copy my code and just put it in a file for you to copy, but I want you to understand what I'm doing so that if you need to do it for something else or for another project, it will be easy for you to do it. So that is why I'm taking this time to show you how to extract the data. Yeah, so we have, where do we have? So we have the next one, which is stats. Let's get this out. Okay, so we'll put this just in a minute. We'll come back to the stats. We'll do it bit by bit so that we don't get confused. Now we have this, so we're going to loop through. We're looping through because we use just for one of the players, so we want to loop through for all of the players. So we can loop through from here, because so for let's say player in player info. So we want to loop through now. Let's see, put everything inside. So for player, so remove this because we are not going for just one player, so we want to go for all. So wherever we see player info, we're going to replace it with player. So we have player info here, we replace it with player because we are looping through now. So for player in player info, we want, but before we do that, let's first of all define, let's say, an empty list where we can store our extracted data. So I would just call it, let's say, okay, let's use a more meaningful name. Let's say player df. Give it as empty list. So we want to populate this empty list now. So Look through, fine. If you look through, append each of these rows. But before we append, let's put all of them in a dictionary form. So let's do player dic, so that it will be easy for us to. The reason why I'm putting it inside a dictionary is so that we can update the dictionary with our stats, so that our code will not be too long but more concise, and to understand we get what we're looking for. So let's say player, you can understand what I mean. Just watch player dic is equal to, we're going to create a dictionary that houses that map each of these player name. So to match it, the key is a string, map it to the value, comma. The next one is nationality. You can use any name of your choice as the key, but the value must always be what we have here. Let's see this. Oh, okay. The next is position. The next is quarantine. And the last one is nationality. So we have our dictionary now. So we're going to append our dictionary to our empty list. So to do that, we just use, let's use this, copy this, don't mind me. Yeah, I'm being lazy. Important thing is get the job done. Okay, so we are going to append. So we want to append this and this to this. Okay, let's see what happens. If all things being equal, this should run. Let's see. It does run. Well, let's see what we have. If I open this, let's open. Okay, so if you can see from here, we have a dictionary that maps player name to their name for the first 10 players, which you can see here. So it means our code is working. We are in line. Now let's add the stats now to it. Now let's come back to our stats. I'll delete this just to show you the output. Now we want to use this stats now. Control C. So we'll come back and say we said for stats is stats. So basically what are we doing? We're trying to update this. Hold on, let's bring our this down so that we know what we're doing. I'll just put it here and rerun this. It's fine. I don't need all of this. We can take it out. So we can rerun this. Now player stats. So we're looking through the player stat and want to return their corresponding value. So that's what we're doing. Then we now update our player list and see what we have. Now we say look through this guy, which you can see here. Then I want you to create an object which is stats, then dot get this, which is what we've done. Our stats in this case is what we have there. Now what is next? We want to update now. So update this list for me, which is this, then update it as this, updates. So I'm updating the list by adding this, each of the stats keys and their value should be equal to So what am I updating it to? I'm updating it to this. So if I run this, I should be able to see stats. Let's run. It does run. So let's see what we have as our player df. Open a new tab and run. Now, what do you observe? You observe that for each of the players, we have not just information, we have their stats, player 1, player 2, up to the 10th player. If you check up to the 10th, so it means our code is working fine. Now, we're done with the first part. I think I don't need this anymore. So we're done with the first part. Now the question now is, how do we get for all other players? That is what we want to do now. And that entails us paginating, because we want to go from page to page to extract the data for all of the players. So I'll just show you something. Let's go back to, because we need to understand how the page is structured. I'll clear this. Then I'll move to the next page. So I'll just copy this because it's still the same thing. I'll copy the call. I'll come back to this. I'll delete this. I just want to show you something. I'll paste it. I'll copy this. Control C. We'll go back to our code. We'll compare this and the second one. I'll just open this and show you what I. Now, if you compare this and this, the only difference is, if you take your time and look through it, the only difference is for this particular first request under the params, there is nothing like next. But as we go to the next page, there is a next token. So we're going to be using this next token now to write our logic that will help us to extract the data that we want. So that's what we're going to do. I'll just show you how to do it just in a minute. So I'll delete this because it's just to show you how the page is structured. Now, how do we write it? The first thing is we're going to define our let's define our next token. Say next token equals to, let's call it none, because we are going from a page that has next token to the, sorry, from a page that does not have next token to the one that has next token. So we want it to start from not just the one that have next token, even the one that does not, which is the first page. So we'll do next token is, so we're going to use a while loop. So basically what we're telling while loop is, I want you to iterate through each pages until when the next token is no longer visible, or you can no longer see the next token. That's what we want to do. So let's write a while loop. Let's say while true. So if next token so let's define what our next token is. So our next token is, okay, before we define, I will change this to a dictionary so that it will be easy for us to do what we're doing. So I'll change this to a dictionary. So I'll map this. So I will properly format this. So I will define my next token, which is what I have here. Where is it? Okay, I'll just quickly run this. Hold on a minute. Just want to see what I have, the structure of it. I'll come back to this in a minute. So, which is this? This is my next token here. So that's just what I need from that place. So I'll do this. I'll map it to none so that we get for the first page. Okay, so we have a dictionary now. So okay, sorry. So now let's go back to our while loop. So we said if next token. So what is next token? Next token is just simply params, which is this. So we want to get this. So it's equals to next token.
How are you doing?
So it's equals to next. So this is our next token. Now I'm saying while true, if the next token is there, take this response out here, we'll put it here, and we also indent this properly. So basically, we'll put this inside our while loop. Oh, okay, put this inside our while loop. Oh, what am I doing? Control X, Control V. Okay, indent it properly. Undo. Properly indent. Okay, so let's make this more so that everything. So we said if next token, so we now define what next token is. We want the script to run this. Now, if we run this, it will run infinitely. So we want to find a logic that will help us to stop if it doesn't find the next token. Now let's come back to this now. So if you see from here, we have the pagination. The pagination contains a next token, which is what you can see from here. So basically, what we'll do is dot get, we want to get that next token. So we'll move pagination first, move step by step, dot get, then next token. So this should give us just the next token, which is what we have here now. So we have the next token. Now said if, so we're going to break out of that loop. We said, okay, if, let's define our next token first, next token, which is what we have here. Let's cut it. So we say, if not next token, break. Sorry, break. That is what we're saying. So I think our code is complete, but let's run and see what we get. So we say if not next token, break. That's what it means. So I'll combine everything now. Let's combine this. Cut. Let's put it up here. So we should have everything. It should hopefully should run, but if it doesn't run, we'll try to troubleshoot to see what the problem is. So let's increase this to 50 so that it runs fast. The essence of increasing is we want it to fetch every 50 record, not just 10 records. So it's not like speed. It's not like we're increasing it to increase the speed. So let's run this and see what we get. Hopefully it should run. It's running. Let me copy this and run it in another page and see if. Okay, it said it's bringing out an error. It says non-type object has no attribute get. Okay, so what it means is it's trying to tell us that in the process of trying to extract our data, there are some that are non-type, that it means they are empty. So we'll find a way to deal with that. So first, let me do or. What it means is if it doesn't find the metadata, I want it to just return an empty dictionary. The same thing too with this. If it doesn't find, return an empty dictionary. Now, because it could be that either the country or the current theme or this one is the one that has none. So we want to find a way to deal with that. So I'll just do something. The same thing I did up, I'll do it there and see if it does work. I'll do or return empty. So what it means is if it doesn't get anything, it won't proceed to go to the next one. If it's none, or if it is, so it's just a way of making sure that it doesn't throw an error. So we'll do it for this one as well that has multiple, we'll do it for the ones that have multiple dictionary. Let's close this and see what we have. Hopefully this should work. Hopefully it should work. Let's run this code again. We can use a try and except if we want to do that, just so that it catches any error. But I'll just run. Hopefully it should run. And let's run this one as well. Hopefully everything should work fine. Just give it a minute. So it's still running. Still running. Hopefully we shouldn't see any error this time. I'll just delete this line. I think we have quite a few stats. Probably that's why it's taking that. Oh, good, it does work. Lovely. So we see we have for Garrett Barry, we have for all, but I think it can't display everything. So we see dot dot dot. So it means there are still some. So now we now have our code running that extract all the data. The question is how do we convert it to a data frame? Well, it's easy, but we can probably just check online if you want, or we can just do it. So let's say we want to convert now. We'll say let's let's do import pandas. We're going to be using pandas as PD. So we want to convert our list now, our dictionary, to a pandas data frame. So we'll do that. We'll say PD dot data frame. Oh, what am I? Data frame dot open bracket. So what are we converting? We're converting this. Control C, convert it to a data frame. So let's give it a name. Let's say EPL player DF. This should run. So if we run this now, we should see it in a tabular form, hopefully. Hopefully it should give us in a tabular form. Pandas has no attribute as data frame. Okay, fine. We're going to go see it. Let's run this and let's come back to this and paste this here. So I'll ask Google how to convert to pandas data frame. Let me see. Convert to pandas, convert a list, yeah, to pandas data frame. How to convert a list to pandas data frame. Okay, so where did I miss it? So it should have been PD. Okay, I'll just copy this. This is what I need. Let me see what I didn't write properly. I'll compare both of them. Oh, I see. The F should be capital letter. Okay, it's fine. I'll run this again. It's run. Let's see what we have. Ooh, we have our data frame. So if you look at it, so we have about 5,660 players. Those are the players. We have about 34 columns of what we need. Now we now have our data frame. So I think we don't need any other thing. Can just delete because we are going to convert this now into Python, into a Python script. So I'll just delete everything. Everything is working fine. So we don't need this. I'll delete all of this. So like I said, you can choose to add more if you want more stats. So we now have everything. So I'll put this inside here. Let me put this inside here. Ctrl V, and I think everything is fine. I'll delete this. I don't need this. This just to show you our final results. Okay, so this is our code that extracts all of the information that we actually need. So how do we convert it to Python data frame? I'll just show you. Well, this is in Jupyter Notebook. You can ask Google, but let's ask how to convert a Jupyter Notebook to a Python. Yeah, should give us some instruction on how to go about that. First, let's name this. Let's say EPL scraper. Let's rename. So we now have what happened? EPL scraper. Enter. It's fine. If you don't want, it's okay. So it says on how to do that. It says we should open our Jupyter notebook, go to File, download as in Python py. Let's see if we have something like so. We'll go to File. Let's go to Download. Oh, it's already downloaded. So I'll go to my download. Where's my download? This is my download. So this, if I open this, if I double click on it, it will now open on VS Code, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So let's just open. So we have all the scripts now in VS Code, but we'll come back to that one yet. So what have we achieved in this particular section? We have run a code that helps us to extract all of our required data from this particular website. So yeah, so next we want to see how to bring it here. So I'll just quickly show you that. Now we're going to create a folder inside our DAG. You can either click on DAG and create it here. If you don't want to do that, then you can use this to create it. We just move into the folder. I'll just show you, say cd, what is the name? Cd DAG. We're moving into that folder. Now we want to create a Python file. We'll do touch. Let's call it EPL players. Let's call it players. So sorry, EPL players df. Let's call it dots, because we want to create a Python file, so it should end with py. Now we have a Python file inside. You can decide to do it this way. We want to go back because you cd, if you want to go back, double dots takes us back to the previous one level back in the structure of our directory. So we now have this, which is empty. So we can do two ways to bring back our code there. Is either we hold on. It's either we open it directly and copy it and paste it there, or we can write this to move it into that particular folder. So I'll just copy. It's fine. We'll copy, Control C, we'll close it, open this, which is open, we'll paste. So we have this now. Now, what do we want to do here is, remember, we're using pandas. And if we look at our architecture, I'll just quickly show you our architecture. Pandas is not part of what's the image that we want to run inside Docker. So we have to find a way to install that inside Docker. We'll come back here. So the requirements will help us, we'll store all the images we want, our custom image inside our requirements.txt, so that when we build, it will help us get those images. So I'll just put pandas as part of them, because I want it to do Control save, come back here. So we have this. So we want to save our data frame into this particular folder, that is log. So ask how to save to see how to convert to CSV. So come back to this, how to save a file in CSV format, pandas. Let's say pandas data frame. Yes, it should give us that. Oh, so it's telling us just go to CSV and everything. So we just copy. It says df.csv. So copy. Come back to this. So put it here. So we're saving this, which is this. Control C. So it says the file name or the file path. So we are going to be using the file path. So we define the file path here. Let's say file path. File path. So let's get this path here. So since we're inside Airflow, which is the logs, we just come to Docker. It gives us what the path is. We're talking about logs. So this is the path to the log. We just copy this path and come back to this and paste it there. Put it inside this. So we replace this now with our file path. So we have this now as our file path. So whenever we run this script, it's going to do the extraction of the data, which will come in a minute. It's going to do the extraction of the data and now save a CSV file inside this particular folder. The essence is when we want to move that CSV file now into Google BigQuery and database, it will be easy for us to go there, pick the file and move it there. I will show you all of that just in a minute. So this is okay. Everything here seems fine. So okay, everything seems fine. Now I'll just save this. I'll run it. Just hold on. I think we're going to do something here. If you are still on your Docker compose YAML file, we don't want it to load example. So we'll change this to false. We don't want it to load for us. False. Then we'll save. So we'll close. Then we will close. Lovely. Now the question is, how do we trigger this particular scraper using DAG? How do we write DAG, which is Airflow, in Airflow, to trigger this particular scraper? Well, if you follow me on this particular journey, stay tuned because that will be our next project. See you. Yeah. Bye.